Well, to say I'm regretting this series is an understatement. Now, I knew going in that it would be a struggle to try and get through these shows, but just watching these Raws is just excruciating. They're that horrible. Okay, like, words can't really express how bad these shows are. You have to watch them yourself, but at the same time, I wouldn't recommend that because these are just, like, these shows. In this case, I'm doing December 3rd, 2018. Now, was this show as bad or worse than November 26th, the show I reviewed last episode, which is near enough unanimously the worst Raw ever? This show was pretty much as bad, if not worse, because at least that show had Seth Rollins and Dolph Ziggler having a great match. In this one, we had nothing. No really good matches, nothing of note, nothing good. We had a bunch of segments on literally repeat from the week before. We had Bayley and Sasha doing their in-ring interview again. More Lucha House Party rules with the revival, which was garbage. Dean Ambrose doing another cringeworthy, awful, this wasn't the immunizations thing, but this, Bane gas mask thing, where he's coming to the ring, and you can see it on screen now. Just absolutely horrible. And to coincide with that, it was just Baron Corbin getting 14 different segments on tonight's show. We kept seeing him backstage. We had a bunch of meaningless matches. Our main event was Ember Moon and Ronda Rousey versus Nia Jax and Tamina. The fact that they got away with making these shows. How... I don't understand. I said this last video with the November 26th episode review. I don't understand, and I can't comprehend how, and the thought process that goes into making a show that's this horrible. Because shows like this, you have to make a conscious effort to make them this bad. Okay, if you have half a brain and you book a wrestling show, it's not going to be this bad. It can be boring, like most Raw shows, but shows like this, and November 26th, and the shows I'm doing in this Raw series, Roasting Raw, these are just some of the worst wrestling shows I've ever seen. I've seen WCW 2000. That was a whole nother story. These ones, oh boy, they're bad. They're really, really bad. This show tonight was, as I said earlier, equally as bad, if not worse, than the week before. And that was the worst Raw ever, in my opinion. This was just another god-awful show. It's amazing TLC 2018 ended up being a pretty good pay-per-view. Because, oh my god, the build on the road to it, you'd think it was the worst pay-per-view ever, based on these build shows. So, anyway, without further ado, just get into this. So we begin by WWE acknowledging George H.W. Bush with the 10-bell salute. Fine, moving on. From here, we begin with Ronda Rousey's music hitting. And then she comes down with Natalya. Oh, sorry, I'll restart that, sorry. Nia Jax and Tamina come out. And then Ronda Rousey comes out. And Natalya then comes down. And then the Riot Squad beat up Natalya. And then Nia Jax and Tamina beat up Ronda Rousey. So this tag match never happens. We just get Natalya being beaten down and put through a table. And Michael Cole screaming that Natalya is seriously hurt. So that's how we open Raw, with Natalya getting beaten up. From here, we get an immediate replay, and then Ronda Rousey's backstage screaming for medical attention with Natalya. From here, we get a rerun of the Getting to Know Bayley and Sasha Banks segment from last week. A segment that was pretty bad when it happened for the first time. This was even worse. It was so just scripted and hard to watch. If it wasn't bad enough the week before, this week, WWE, for December 3rd, completely give up on creativity or logic and book the same thing again. Literally the same thing again. Could you exhibit laziness in a more clear form? So, right away, I didn't care about that because of the laziness. From here, Bayley and Sasha come down, they answer more questions. This time, it's just more horribly scripted and fake questions. Last week, they were asked one question, now they're asked four questions. So the first one's about whether they trust each other, and then they get asked about what their dream matches as a tag team, and they respond versus Trish and Lita at WrestleMania. And then from there, some neckbeard, who Sasha Banks looks sideways at, which I found hilarious, he asks, "What is your dream superpower?" Why do I bother with this? From here, Bayley says that her superpower should be to make people be invisible and make Alexa Bliss invisible. And she runs around like she's just told the biggest zinger in the world. It's just garbage. And then from here, we literally get Bayley mentioning becoming the first ever women's tag champions. And then Mickie James, Alicia Fox, and Dana Brooks sprint down. Alexa Bliss is like, no, don't let this happen. So then Alexa Bliss makes a tag match after the break. Thrilling. So from here, Corey Graves says, "What an announcement by the goddess!" in this excited voice. I'm thinking to myself, this is just awful. So that was cringeworthy, that segment. From here we go to the Boston Hug connection, Bayley and Sasha versus Mickie James and Alicia Fox with Dana Brooke. Just, this isn't a match that anyone wants to see. Bayley and Sasha versus Fox and James. Like, I'd be lying if I told you I watched this match, because I couldn't care less. This had no pertinence on any long-term storylines or developments in the company, just garbage. In the end, the Boston Hug connection won, and Alexa Bliss was just clapping in the timekeeper's area. So, moving on, I gave that 1.5 stars. From here we go to a recap of Corbin, McIntyre, and Lashley from the week before. Remember the November 26th episode where they had a whole hour of TV time? Awful. From here we find out that Morgan Wheeler's in the crowd. You know, Morgan Wheeler. The A-lister, Morgan Wheeler. So, Morgan Wheeler's watching this crap house show. From here we go backstage to Ronda Rousey shouting at Alexa Bliss. Ronda says that she'll find a tag partner of her choice against Nia Jax and Tamina in the main event. And then Ronda storms off and Bliss is like, oh, okay. So, then we get a video package of Baron Corbin as acting GM for like 2.5 minutes. And they try to hype up Strowman versus Corbin at TLC. From here, Corbin tells Rude and Gable backstage that they'll get a tag title rematch if simply Rude can beat Drake Maverick tonight. And I'm thinking to myself, what horrible way are they going to, screw Bobby Roode out of this tag title match? So that's a wait and see. From here we get another a rerun of last week. They took the same script and just did it all over again. Lucha House Party rules match, the Lucha House Party versus Scott Dawson. Now, instead of the Revival, Dawson and Wilder, this time was Lucha House Party versus Scott Dawson. And guess what? They beat Scott Dawson in 2 minutes. Just what we all want to see. So, this was complete garbage. Once again, the same thing as last week. The Lucha House Party come into the ring. The Revival's music hit. They cut this promo about how no one's listening to them and the tag team wrestling's the way to go. Then JoJo announces that it's going to be Lucha House Party rules. The Revival fake anger, and then they lose in 2 minutes. Way to bury the Revival. Stuff like this is why the Revival aren't renewing their contracts. Okay? Because you put them through this for like a month straight. Because I know the Raw before November 26th, November 19th, 2018, it was this. I think the week after it was this as well. So, just garbage. Complete dud. From here we go backstage. Baron Corbin's yelling at some intern. And then we find out that Titus O'Neil's nominated for some great role model award. Then, that was the first hour. Just garbage. From here, we begin the second hour with Drew McIntyre Appreciation Night. Now, if you've been watching the channel, you know that I love the concept of this segment. A Drew McIntyre Appreciation segment, I'm all for it. So we get, from here, Corbin's in the ring, cuts this 1.5-minute promo about how he believes in excellence on Raw. Then we get a 2-minute video package with Drew McIntyre. McIntyre then comes down. Baron Corbin proceeds to present Drew McIntyre with the Monday Night Raw Gold Medal of Excellence. From here, McIntyre then cuts a decent promo, calling out how the WWE superstars backstage, on their phones, retweeting positive things fans have to say about them, whilst not doing anything to become better, in the ring. From here, Dolph Ziggler comes down. He says that when they were a tag team, he was the brains and McIntyre was the muscle. He brought McIntyre to prominence. Where's his invitation to this appreciation night? From here, apparently Ziggler doesn't meet the height requirement according to McIntyre. McIntyre says that he was the brains, muscle, and the whole damn package. McIntyre's just belittling and demeaning Ziggler. Cool. From here, Ziggler hits a zigzag on McIntyre, and that's that. Or so we thought. Baron Corbin says that they're going to wrestle right now. Excellent. So that segment was alright. Wasn't anything special. For me, we get Drew McIntyre, Dolph Ziggler. I mean, on paper, it's a decent match. But the thing is, it didn't get much time. Half of the match was in a commercial. So, I couldn't care less. Literally, the ending was a joke. And it was nowhere near as good as Ziggler vs. Rollins on the previous week's episode. Literally, just McIntyre beating down Ziggler for most of the match. The mid-match commercials I mentioned. And then Finn Balor came down to ringside. And then McIntyre... Literally, this is the most entertaining part of the match. Listen to this. McIntyre, he was at ringside with Ziggler, tosses Ziggler back into the ring, but the referee gets, legged by Ziggler, so the referee falls down. And then from there, literally Ziggler, dropkicks McIntyre. Finn Balor dropkicks McIntyre, because the referee's down. And then we get Drew McIntyre barely getting back in the ring, and then getting hit with a zigzag, and then Ziggler pins him. Way to make McIntyre look good, so Ziggler wins there. From here, McIntyre cuts a promo about how he's the Mountain, he'll take out Finn Balor, whatever. From here we go to Elias. He's in the ring, and he's cutting promo on Bobby Lashley, saying that Lashley's afraid of him, and at TLC, Lashley will find out why. I couldn't care less. From here, Elias begins playing the guitar, only for Leo Rush to come to the stage, standing next to Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley is wearing, sunglasses. He's just standing there flexing as Leo Rush is screaming, and then Michael Cole and Graves are shouting the Almighty on commentary. Once again, I said this last week, what is Almighty about Bob Lashley? So, from here, we get Elias beginning a brawl with Lashley. Elias brawls with Lashley into Gorilla, and then immediately after that, Elias just walks back out as if you go to Gorilla and then you just vanish. Just garbage. From here, Leo Rush attempts to run away. Finn Balor then throws Leo Rush onto the stage. Elias hits him in the back with a guitar, and that's the segment. Straight garbage. So, moving on, we go backstage. Jinder Mahal is chatting up GM Baron Corbin. The Singh brothers are standing there clapping, being hype men. So, Corbin announces that Mahal's going to face Balor later on. Oh, Finn Balor, Jinder Mahal. What a 5-star classic. Savage Steamboat right there. From here, we get Rhino and Heath Slater coming in for some reason. Corbin says that there's only room for one of them on Raw because after Corbin crunched the numbers, there's only room for one of them. Yeah, because Baron Corbin reads finance reports now. Brilliant. Garbage. So, from here we go to Bobby Roode versus Drake Maverick. If Bobby Roode wins, then Roode and Gable get a tag team rematch against the Authors of Pain for the Raw Tag Team Championship. So, Roode comes out, Drake Maverick comes out, and then before the match starts, they cut backstage. Chad Gable is thrown into, crates by the Authors of Pain, and then we immediately get Corbin rushing over the referees. Corbin's like, it's a 3-on-2 handicap match. Go, go. So, Akam and Razor rush to the ring. They're beating up Bobby Roode. Gable eventually comes down holding his neck, and then Gable gets some offense in. AOP just beat him down. Drake Maverick then gets tagged in. He falls over and then pins Bobby Roode. So Drake Maverick pins Bobby Roode. This went for 3 minutes. Absolutely god-awful. Garbage. So that was that. Literally, the Authors of Pain and Drake Maverick just beating Roode and Gable. Horrible. From here, we get a full recap of Ambrose and Rollins' feud, including that awful injection storyline. And then we get a video or a thing that talks about Nia Jax's failed basketball career, and we find out that John Cena is winning some great person award. So that was bad. And speaking of bad, we then go to Dean Ambrose wearing the Bane masks, the gas masks. Just, Vince McMahon, you are an absolute clown. Dean Ambrose wearing Bane masks, like a Bane mask, and then all the people accompanying him. Vince probably thought this was some great visual that would be on Raw video packages for years to come. This was a supplementary action that proved to Dean Ambrose, John Moxley, Jonathan Good, that he needs to leave this company ASAP. This whole thing of the dirty fans, Ambrose trying to escape them, it was horrid. Like Ambrose wearing the mask and then trying to cut a promo. He eventually just ripped it off and just did the promo anyway. Which the promo wasn't bad. It was just the whole idea of the segment. Ambrose wearing a Bane mask and then cutting a promo. Just awful. Vince McMahon, clown. So literally, Ambrose comes down with the sirens going off. He's wearing the mask. Ambrose then gets in the ring. He's breathing in and out before cutting 4 lines worth of a promo. Then he rips off the mask and he cuts this decent promo about how he doesn't trust anybody and that life sucks. The fans can deal with it. Seth Rollins isn't here. Seth Rollins is going to come out and get him. And then he says that he's the mortal compass of WWE. And that if the fans in Texas went to school, they'd understand what that means. Ambrose says that, what else did he say? He keeps going on with this promo. His delivery was good. But I was just done after the mask thing. So from there, Rollins' music hits. Ambrose is looking at the stage. No one's there. Eventually, Rollins runs through the timekeeper's area, beats up all these 6 guys wearing Bane masks. And then Ambrose and Rollins brawl into the crowd. They're beating each other up. Eventually, Ambrose hits dirty deeds on the floor. They get back in the ring. Ambrose hits another dirty deeds. So, Dean Ambrose stands tall. Just, initially, this was horrible. It turned out alright with the brawl and the Ambrose promo after he took the mask off, but just awful. The fact that Vince McMahon thought this would be a good idea, to have Ambrose make an entrance and cut a promo in a Bane mask, I can't even be bothered. So, here we go backstage. Nia Jax and Tamina attempt to intimidate Charlie Caruso. Whatever. We got Heath Slater versus Rhino. Losers fired. Heath Slater wins in 2 minutes. And then Heath Slater's 3-man band theme song plays. So, bye-bye Rhino, I guess. No rating there. From here we go singles match. Finn Balor versus Jinder Mahal with the Singh brothers. What a meaningful match this was. Jinder Mahal in his steroid-ravaged body against Prince Devitt. Just brilliant. The match itself was worthless. Balor, he tried to make it watchable, but it just wasn't. It really wasn't. Jinder Mahal, he's posing after punching Balor. Just over and over. Jinder Mahal, flexing his steroid-ravaged body. I couldn't care less. Here's the thing. Jinder Mahal has the look. He's a big body, but he has no charisma, no ring skill, no character, no entertainment value. Okay, just because he's big and he doesn't look like Johnny Gargano doesn't mean I like him. He just pumped himself with steroids to the point where he looked so unnatural. He has gyno. He's garbage. Eventually, Balor hits a suicide dive on Mahal and coup de grace. Balor wins. I gave this half a star. From here, Finn Balor's interviewed backstage by Charlie Caruso, and then McIntyre immediately ambushes him and beats him up. So from there we got our main event. Our main event, Ronda Rousey teaming with Ember Moon to take on Nia Jax and Tamina. What a dead tag match for the Raw main event. Rousey and Moon versus Nia Jax and Tamina. Imagine watching this live at 10:50 p.m. at night on a Monday, on like a work day, after seeing through this garbage for 2 hours and 50 minutes. Imagine. Literally, this match was everything you'd expect it to be. Ember Moon getting beaten up in the heel corner for like 7 minutes, and then Michael Cole, calling Nia Jax the hashtag facebreaker. Embarrassing. So from here, Ronda comes in, she screams at Tamina to tag in Nia. Nia comes in, and then tags right back out to Tamina. So from here, Ronda beats up Tamina for like a minute, and then Ember Moon hits a botch-looking eclipse on Tamina, and then pins her. So Ronda and Ember Moon stand tall. That was this show. Absolutely awful. Easy F. F minus. Nothing redeemable about this show. One of the worst Raw episodes I've ever seen, if not the worst. This was right on par with that November 26, 2018 episode. Absolutely horrible. So if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, and sub. These Raw shows are brutal. If you've got any to recommend for me, then leave it down below, because there's plenty of Raw shows that just stunk the joint up, especially these ones, which are notoriously horrible. So if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, sub. You guys know the drill. See ya.